Hello, I'm Tom Riddle, and for the past 4 years, I've been working with a team led by Richard Whitmore of the American Clock Shop to restore the Seth Thomas number 18 clock that from 1883 until 1960 was at the top of the Portage County Courthouse. When we started working on the clock, it had stopped working and had rust, dirt, layers of motor oil, assorted dead insects, and other gunk. Now what once looked like this looks like this. And in fact, presently, even though the clock is not fully operational, it is ticking. Working with the team, I've learned a lot about clocks, and I've come to a dramatic conclusion. This clock, more than perhaps any other clock in the country, is the direct descendant of Big Ben in London. A clock in Massachusetts has many of the same properties, but it's locked away in a clock tower and no one can see it. The National Watch and Clock Museum in Pennsylvania has one clock that is distantly related to Big Ben, but it has a completely different tick and a shorter pendulum. What has happened is that many of the old tower clocks have had their mechanical parts replaced with electric motors. The most famous example is the clock in Grand Central Station. So how exactly is Ravenna's clock similar to London's? When Big Ben started ticking on May 13, 1859, it shared many features with the other tower clocks of the day, and those features would eventually come to Ravenna. The first of these was the ability to power 4 clock faces. The second was a 14-foot pendulum with a massive bob. Clockmakers realized that a pendulum that long and heavy would be less susceptible to wind and other disturbances. Third was a pendulum with a 2-second swing. A swing that slow produced less variation because of less air resistance and friction. Fourth was a temperature-compensated pendulum. To achieve this, the British engineers developed pendulums with an inner steel sleeve inside a zinc sleeve surrounded by steel. In this way, the center of gravity would always stay in the same place. Thus, the clock would keep reasonable time at any temperature. The fifth and final feature was the horological breakthrough of the 19th century that was developed specifically for Big Ben. That breakthrough is called the Denison double 3-legged gravity escapement. It was developed by a genius amateur horologist, Edmund Denison, just months before Big Ben started ticking. Denison was a lawyer who later became a British lord, yet he never patented his invention. It soon spread worldwide, and one of the places it came to was Ravenna. Now, with the clock nearing full restoration, what should become of it? Many of us feel that the county would be well served to display the clock in a public building. That way the county could boast of having 2 engineering masterpieces from the 19th century. A flagpole that uses some of the same technology that made the Eiffel Tower possible, and what might be the only publicly viewable clock in the country that closely mirrors the genius of Big Ben. Please see the description for more details. Thank you.